What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Rage Traders NRL Supercoach podcast. Wolfie here, and today we're doing my second last team reveal before the 1A and 1B team lists, and it's going to be an absolute banger, this one. There's been quite a few changes, and I'm very happy with where my team is now. This is going to be the core and forefront of my team. You won't see too many changes after this. I'm pretty much settled on this. So let me know what you think in the comments below. If you do enjoy the video, like, subscribe, and comment for the algorithm. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify podcast, please, a 5-star review truly does help out. So thank you so much for that. And also, if you haven't joined into the Rage Traders 1K Supercoach League, offering $1,000 to the person that comes first in this, 739499 is the code. That's 739499. And all you have to do, it's completely free, is be a subscriber to the Rage Traders on YouTube. That's as simple as it is. As long as you're a subscriber and you win, you're getting $1,000 in cold hard cash. Now, let's get straight into the team. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. I did take a bit of a 1 week sort of break off because one, was my son's first birthday. Two, there was just so much going on with trials and new information and things coming out that I didn't want to just do every single trial recap and just convolute everything. It's just, I feel like it's too much. And sometimes when you watch too many videos and give out too much information, it's just, you're doing it for the content rather than to actually help people. I don't know if that makes sense, but I just needed to take a bit of a break, especially with the amount of effort I put into scoring changes as well. So now I'm set, now I'm ready, now I'm feeling good. This week coming, we're going to have CTW analysis. I might do a fullback analysis as well. Then we're going to have like sort of like must-haves, just little things here and there. I actually have some a special guest coming on a podcast as well, which I'm pumped for, that you guys are going to know who it is. So really, really pumped for that. So let's get straight into it. Without further ado, let's start with the hookers. We have got Blake Brayley and Brandon Smith. Now, the reason I've now gone Blake Brayley, there's a few. One, I think out of both teams, I was more impressed by the Sharks, and out of both players, I was more impressed by Brayley compared to Harry Grant. Harry Grant seemed to not really take this more attacking role. He just seemed to like float around, do what needs to be done. Now, whether that is because it's just a trial game and he's not trying at 100%, that's completely fine. And I would most really be the same if I was in their shoes. I wouldn't really care too much. You're just trying to get the engine running. You're just trying to get back into the swing of things. Completely understand. The one thing that also scares me a bit is actually just the Melbourne Storm in general. And now with the Xavier Coates injury, I think Lasardi's now missed his position. It's likely to be Joe Chan. We don't know if it's Moses Leo or Hugo Peel. There's a lot of changes and a lot of moving parts there. I'd rather be on Blake Brayley, where if Harry Grant still looks amazing and better than Blake Brayley, I can move him down, gain cash, rather than be on Harry Grant and then, how do I get the extra 50? Who do I take that out of? So I think I'm just completely happy with Blake Brayley. The reason I also haven't gone Reid Marnie, who I did have in for a lot of time, is just because, one, I can move down to him again from Blake Brayley and bank a lot of cash. He was also one of the biggest missed tackle stats in the NRL last season. I don't know the exact number, but he was definitely in the top 5 or top 8, and that's a -1. So that scares me a bit. And also, it's just, would I rather be on the Sharks or Cowboys? Most probably, definitely the Sharks. And I think in the limited minutes Brayley had, he scored about 29-30 fantasy points. And this is a game where Sharks absolutely dominated. So I don't expect them to absolutely dominate every game because they do have some injuries themselves where it will be a bit of a tighter contest. I think the Gold Coast Titans Sharks game is going to be a lot closer than what people think. And I wouldn't be surprised if it goes down to the wire. And I think that's going to suit Brayley as well. We obviously don't want to choose players based off just the first game only. But again, I just think he's going to get a bump up from everything in the changing from the scores. I think he's a solid pick, and I can move down if needed and bank some cash. Brandon Smith, happy with the trial, happy how he looked. He looks much fitter. The rig's there. The fitness is there. I think he's just going to make you an easy 100,000 minimum. But you'd be happy with that. If he can get to a 35 average, sure, I'll take it. See you later, and bank the cash. So that's a pretty stock standard pick. Now, next, you're going to see some changes here. Boy, oh boy, Payne Haas and Kolomatangi. Yes, big front row forward status here. Now, Payne Haas, I don't need to speak about it too much. Obviously, there was an injury in the World Cup Challenge, maybe boosted his numbers a bit, but I think he's a must-have. I think out of everyone in NRL Supercoach, there is only one player that is a must-have, and that is Payne Haas. Everyone else is not a must-have. That's my take. That's my opinion. I don't think Kinney is a must-have. I don't think Far Logo is a must-have. Yes, they're good picks that should have a bit of upside to them, but I don't think they're must-haves. Maybe David Fifita, and I would say David Fifita and Payne Haas are the two must-have picks. They're the only things that should be in your team. Again, that's my opinion, so don't be like, oh, you said this 4 weeks ago and one of them went tits up. That's not my fault. It's just my opinion. Colo looked absolutely amazing in the minutes he played in the South versus Manly game. Warranted, we do have to take into consideration that it is against Manly. The forward pack isn't as elite as others, but he just looked very fit, healthy. He was breaking, spinning, close to scoring a try. He was exactly what he looked like when he moved to prop last season. He had a lot of energy, and for me, that's just guns in blazing. I'm really liking his price, $666,500. Also, apologies, I should mention before the prices of my other picks, just for the podcast listeners. So Blake Brayley sitting at $654,400. Brandon Smith sitting at $235,600. And of course, Payne Haas sitting at $852,700. So some big money there with Brayley and Haas. Now, Colo at $666,500. I just think, look, he may not get to a 66 average, but the way he looked yesterday, it's very close. And if their draw and who they're up against, I don't see him having trouble. And I want to make points early with this team. Okay, so that's my goal. I'm very, very big on Adam Dewey, but boy, oh boy, does like the bye really hurt in a way. And I don't want to get hurt like that early and losing points. So I'm using that as an example of why I'm going so aggressive here. My front row forward 3 at the moment at Tanella Paseka. Look, not the craziest, game ever for him. I think he got about 40 something points, maybe boosted up to 45 with the bumps. But if I have to say between him and Colquhoun, just based off security, I'm going Paseka. I don't think Manly are going to be as bad as a team as what we saw against Souths, to be honest with you. I mean, no turbo there, but still they didn't look too flash hot. But still, if he's getting those type of points in that type of game, well, I'm pretty happy with that. Front row forward 4, honestly, this could be anyone. It could be a Miles Martin, but for now it's Bunny Afoa. I like that he has the bye, which is great for a little loophole play if we can do that. Which I'll speak about soonish. But yeah, very, very happy with that front row forward. That's going to sit there very, very just safe in a way. And we'll get to the 2RF forwards. Now, obviously, Bunny Afoa, $235,600. Very cheap. Tanella Paseka, $328,600. Pushing it a bit, but I still think he gets to at least 40 points, 45 points, where he's making, an easy 50, 80 grand. And I don't want to take the chance with Colquhoun after that trial game. I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe team list will change that. We'll need to see the bench, but it was a bit scary. He didn't go too crash hot, especially in a game where they dominated. He got limited minutes, so I don't know if he's going to be getting... Because in a game where they dominate, wouldn't you think someone like Colquhoun just gets the run for at least 60 minutes? So that kind of put me off a bit, but we'll have to wait and see. But let's go to our 2RF forwards. Let's start with Isaiah Yeo, $610,100. I think he's only going to do more work with Cleary being out. If Cleary does get out and the judiciary fails and they don't get out of the thick water and the thick mess they're in at the moment, I think he's going to be a fine pick. I think it'll be a grindy game for their games for the first 5. And I just think even if he does lose a bit of money because of Cleary being out, which I don't think will happen anyway, he's just going to be, he'll make it back. Like it'll be not a massive loss at all. We see what he can do. Maybe with Cleary out, he even becomes a bit more ball dominant because he is that guy that is the first, second person that starts, or generally one of the people that are quite important in the plays as well. Even if he's running a bit of a block run, it sometimes can go to him for a sneaky play. So yeah, very interested to see how that goes, but I still am going to stick with him. I'm not mad at it at all. Obviously, it's unfortunate with what happened with Cleary, but if he does get guilty, get the judge hammer down, and he gets guilty, I mean, it's deserved. That's just how the cookie crumbles. Next, Jermaine Hopgood. Really happy with what I saw from the Parramatta Eels and him alone. From what I hear, again, I couldn't watch too much of the trials because of my son's first birthday, but looked very good. $517,900. Has FRF duality as well, which I like. And seems like there's really good upside to him and not a lot of downside if he's a prop. That's something I really like. I found last season and maybe the season when I first started, you don't want to be chopping and changing. And I mean, if Kolomatangi comes out and it's not as good as what I think, it's an easy play for me to go Hopgood up, Hamish Stewart in, Hopgood up, Toby Couchman in if he's looking absolutely amazing. So there's things I can do there where that little duality just really does help out, and I'm happy for Hopgood to be my team. David Fafita, $485,300. Not much to say there. Immediate value in the way he plays. He looks fit. He looks like he's a bulldozer. Manly couldn't really contain him. And I just think there will be games like that where he's definitely making money. I don't need to speak about David Fafita too much. The next 3, I have Joe Chan at $309,900, said to have got the starting role with the Melbourne Storm. Obviously, this is team list dependent, but if that's the case, I'm happy to stick with him. We all know that all he needed was minutes and consistency. If that comes, well, he's pretty much going to be close to someone in my team. The only other person I'd most probably think about is... Well, there's a couple. We've got Patson. We've also got from the Gold Coast Titans, and we've also got Laban from New Zealand Warriors. So these are 2 other guys I'm considering. I think the biggest debate people are on about is, do you pick Bai or do you pick Patson? I think I just like Bai because of the less money tag on him, $235,600. Compared to a Patson who I think is about 290. So there's just a bit more cash I can have in the bank or use somewhere else, which I like. And the next I have Ryan Couchman. If he gets named, it's going to be tough because of the 6-man interchange. Again, this could be someone that falls out of my team. But because we're getting these team lists first for the St. George Bulldogs game, and then for obviously the other Vegas game, Cowboys and Knights, it could be someone who I just want to put in my team if it looks like he is going to get minutes. Again, if he's on the bench, which likely will be, I just need to see what the bench looks like. That's all. He's not a shoo-in. No, not at all. This could easily be someone else, but for now, he's just plugged in there because if he does what he did in the trials next to his brother, Toby, he's going to just produce extreme value. And if, like, we see that somebody goes down in the St. George Dragons, like Hamish Stewart or even Toby Couchman again, the next Couchman brother he'll be a must-have. Everyone will get him in. All right, halfback. Here we go. You know I've spoken about him a lot as a pod. I've spoken about his kicking ability. I've spoken about how I think he's got a possible chance to be the Dally M this year. I've spoken about how he will not be highly affected from try assist because he loves kicking those high little chips to Tupou and Marky Mark. And unfortunately for me, it backfired in a sense where he had a really good Supercoach game of like 111 points. And now I actually don't know what his ownership is, but I think it's going to go up, right? It's not 90%, right? Oh, 90% starting bench. I'll have to look at it, but I don't know why it's not showing it here. But boy, oh boy, Sam Walker just looks to be someone who I think is going to still score a great amount of points. Look, is he going to be someone that gets over this 68.3 price tag? I don't know. 683,000 price tag. Maybe not. But even if he gets around to a 63, 65, I'm very happy with that if he gets there. If he gets more and he has some really good games, the one thing I like about him is I know he has the ceiling to get 100 plus on a multitude of games, especially with the Roosters attack, especially with the way that he plays. I just love him as a player. And again, I've always said to you guys, go with your instinct. I'm going to go with my instinct. Now, the next one, Ethan Sanders for the Canberra Raiders, $246,400 is my halfback too. I mean, it's just if he's kicking. If we get word that he's not, it'll just be Atkinson. But for now, Ethan Sanders will just be in there. 5/8. I've got Purdue and Pezzett. Jackson Purdue and Pezzett. Purdue sitting at $557,400. Now, it actually was Cody Walker, especially after the trial game. There's two things I'm scared about. One is I don't want to get baited into a trial game where he looks absolutely amazing. Great. He looked good. Try assists, line breaks, tries. He looked incredible, right? But it was against a woeful team who the forwards couldn't even pick who they were defending. Cody Walker went through the biggest gap for a try, and that's not going to happen every week. Now, I'm not saying he's not value. We also know that he's massively injury prone. But for me, the safer way to come at Cody Walker is either having Jackson Purdue in your centers, so you can then move him up if Cody Walker turns to crap or gets injured, or just having Purdue in your team and going down to Cody Walker. Now, if you're starting with Cody Walker, I would say that you just need to have a game plan of having some cash somewhere where you can go up to a better 5'8" or someone who's actually excelling in that role if things go haywire. So I'm not saying Cody Walker is going to be a bad pick. I'm just saying I'm future-proofing it in case he's either a good or bad pick. Because if Purdue is great, right, he's just going to match Cody Walker. And sure, Cody Walker will make a bit of money. But if Purdue's average and Cody Walker's great, it's just a simple two-click of a button. I go down to Cody Walker. Yes, I lose a trade, but I've also got someone that's likely to be in the centers anyway. So I'm now going to have an extra center. We know that position's going to be buffed, and I don't want to take one trial game too much into effect, and just change my whole team around it. Pezzett, do we need to speak about it too much? Just an easy 5.82. Make cash. Eels look good. Pezzett, okay, whatever. $235,600. Wings and centers. All right. Herbie Farnworth. Most probably this is a bit of a template, I would say, center setup. Herbie Farnworth, $825,600. I think he's close to a must-have. I'm definitely not going to say he's a must-have with the way he can start seasons. The only reason I think he's a must-have in a sense is because he will allow you to go to any other center prior to round 3 and not lose money. So if he doesn't start off amazingly, if he doesn't get those nice little buffs that we all see from the scoring changes, he will allow you to go to a Valentine Holmes or a Kiraz with ease and then bank a bit of cash. He will allow you to go to whoever it may be and you not have to worry. But if he starts really, really strong, and we've seen that their offense is quite good, it's going to be super hard or annoying for you to try and get up to him. Now, one thing also is, and we really want to note this down, is the right edge of South Sydney Rabbitohs is not as bad as what people think. And I think Whiten and Campbell Graham are going to be actually a very good defensive edge. And I'm really, really, really curious to see how Campbell Graham and Whiten defend against this edge, because if we know Campbell Graham is an Origin caliber defender, so and obviously that's maybe in the centers or the wing, maybe Herbie doesn't get pushed out and just crumbles. But if Herbie's on the right side in team list, if he gets put on the right edge, he won't be in my team. So that's something I'm just telling you now. If he's right center, I'm just not even going to start with him. I'll mostly look at going like a Karaz. Next, KL Lero, $705,900 for the Sharks. I was so close to going like a Karaz over him. I'm not 100% on this pick. But again, like if Karaz looks healthy, I think because of the round 2 bye and me having Crichton, I'm scared to go Crichton and Karaz. Also, Crichton being on the left side. Well, I think this is, I don't know if this is confirmed, but it said that he's going to be on the left side now. Does that actually impact Karaz? Like, there is so many times I've seen Crichton be the start of a play on the right side edge that enables Karaz, that I think if actually Crichton is on the left side, I'd rather wait and watch on Karaz. We know he's got a good base. We know who he is, but maybe Crichton going away from that edge actually hurts Karaz. So that's something I want to wait and see. That's team list dependent as well. But he's going to be the goal kicker for the Bulldogs as well, Crichton. But back to Iro at $705,900. I think, I just think the way Sharks are playing, yes, in the trials I hear that they went to the right a bit, sure. But Iro, I mean, he's a very like tackle busty center. He's hard to put down, and when he gets close to the line, he's very close to scoring. And yes, the one thing annoying about Iro is he kind of needs to score to have a really good game. But, I mean, this is the Cronulla Sharks we're talking about, who really do need to play for a premiership season. I mean, every year we most really say they have a chance and they fumble. I think this could be the season. He looks healthy. He looks fit. I think he could do well. And again, there's not many other centers I would really want to go for. The one center I did want to really look at and go for was Taylor May. But again, the round 1 bye really, really hurts. And I shouldn't say it really, really hurts, but it just puts you back one step a bit. And I'm very scared to do it. And I've also got Makasini in my team. But boy, having Taylor May and Makasini in your team and coming into round 2, seeing that come into your team would be the most delightful thing to see. But I'm not saying I won't go Taylor May. There's part of me that wants to ship out Iro, put Fayamani or Setutu in, and just go take that hit, hope Fayamani does well or Setutu, then have Taylor May Makasini come in and be like, this is my centers. So that's something else I'm playing with, because I also have the Purdue play in 5'8" as well. Latrell Mitchell, I don't really need to speak about this too much. Some people will try and fade him. I'm not going to do it. I think it's too much of a risk. At $626,800, he's going to be a facilitator on that left side. I think him, Walker, and Fafita already look like they're clicking. He scored. They look good. He looks healthy. He looks fit. The team is stronger, clearly better. And I'm just going to sit with Latrell Mitchell. He's also a goal kicker as well. We spoke about Stephen Crichton just a bit at $600,000 flat. I think if he moves to left edge, he's going to be a pretty nice pick, especially with the scoring changes and what centers can get now with try assists. I think he's going to be really, really good there. I would honestly love to see Preston, Crichton, and like Montoya or something like that, like in the left side. That would be really insane. I think Preston is really good on the left edge, and we saw that last season. I wonder if that would ever happen again. But we'll have to wait and see. But Crichton, Iro, Farnworth, and Latrell Mitchell are my 4 main wing centers. Now, with the 3 sort of cheapies, Makasini, I'm not going to speak about this. Everyone knows, $235,600. He was all over the news to play, blah, blah, blah. Great player, good cheapie. Get him in. If you don't, you're silly. Fayamani, Gold Coast, $201,400 basement price. Really good, really solid. Is there anyone else you can go here? The only other people I'm really considering is either the Moses Lee or Hugo Peel. I have to wait for team lists on that. That could come in for easily a Setutu or Fayamani. Again, if I took Iro out and went for a Taylor May, maybe that's something I look at, because then I could hopefully get something worth out of it on the first round against the Eels, because I do think Melbourne Storm will still score a bit of points, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, going to my fullbacks now, Keanu Kinney and Suafa Logo. This has been a really, really tough sort of part of Supercoach for me. Yesterday, I had Reece Walsh in my team with a bit of a strategy to basically like go high in the fullback and catch this Broncos draw now that if Cleary is out, maybe they perform pretty well against the Broncos, and then all of a sudden they've got the Eels and Reece Walsh is the guy to get at the start. And I had Kinney and Chester in, and I'm like, but if I need to get to a Reece Walsh or a James Tedesco and they're flying, how am I going to do that? The only thing I can think of is then you go Farlow, go Kinney out for like a Tedesco or something like that. So I've balanced it out with Kinney and Farlogo here just in case things go a bit haywire and I need to get to a premium. So that's what I'm going to do. Kinney, I mean, the Supercoach scores weren't crazy good. I'm still sort of, out of all positions, this is the ones that I'm like not the happiest about, but I don't know who else to go, to be honest with you. If you're not going a premium, I just think this is like the default start. Kinney Chester seems very scary, especially with Laybart coming back in round 3. That's the one thing I'm scared about, hence why he's not in the team at the moment. And I think he could be a bit of a bait or a trap, and especially if Cowboys actually play bad. Like, there's definitely a chance Cowboys can lose to Knights. I'm a Cowboys fan. Trust me, it can happen. There's definitely a chance and a high chance that when it comes to West Tigers, boy, oh boy, they can easily lose that game. And our defense has been pretty horrid. But yeah, let's go to my last flex position, Trey Mooney, 442,000. And he is my vice captain. So 2RF, FRF duality. I think this game could be a very, very high sort of like defensive game as well, smaller field. I don't know if that's ever changed. Did they change the field size for NRL in Vegas? I don't know. Maybe someone can let me know in the comments. Is it still a smaller field? If so, it might be a bit tighter. This guy's a tackle machine, a running machine, and a base machine. And I'm happy to have him as my vice captain. I was tinkering with having Crichton as my vice captain, and that's something I might still do. I think that actually holds more value, to be honest with you, because I think the ceiling would be way more high. Like, I think there's more chance of Crichton hitting 100 points than Trey Mooney. So I'd most probably do that, to be honest with you. I'm going to take it back. Crichton is my vice captain, and we'll see how that goes. If not, it's just going to be Haas as my captain. But that is the team reveal, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Tell me if you think I'm crazy in some position. Tell me if you think there's someone else you'd rather have in the team or someone else you're looking at. But let me know what you think out of 10, what you would like to see in my team. But yeah, this is how I'm sitting at the moment. That's my strategy. $14,100 left in salary, so not too much at all. But again, I've gone pretty hot and heavy, and we can make cash back with some trades if things fall out of plan. Thanks for watching, guys. Please leave a comment, like, subscribe, and 5-star review on the podcast. That would be greatly appreciated. I'll see you soon. Wolfie here from the Rage Traders. Peace.